We'll get everybody logged in before I call it to order. How's that sound? Just in case we have some technical issues. Okay. All right. I have my mic on. We're live. We're recording. Everybody's logged on. So, okay. And so it's 7:03. So I'm going to get the meeting, call it to order. So we'll get it underway. So I'll just update everybody. I will be chairing the meeting until we appoint a board chair for the night. So our first item underway. I'm just going to remind all the trustees to use their microphones tonight because we have a massive audience following us and we want to make sure they can hear us. This year, we hope not to have any technical issues. We've had a couple years of bad luck. So this is hopefully our first year that we have no audio issues. So just make sure your mics are on when speaking. And we'll get the
I'd like to nominate Trustee Lorraine Boydson.
Thank you. Trustee Boydson, do you accept?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. Anyone else nominate for Finance Chair? Trustee Rowan?
I'd like to nominate Trustee Nicol.
Trustee Nicol, do you accept?
Yes.
Thank you. Anyone else want to like to nominate for the Finance Chair? Trustee Harris?
I would like to nominate Trustee Rowan.
Trustee Rowan, do you accept?
Yes, I do.
Anyone else like to nominate for our position of Chair of the Finance Committee? So I'm going to call this a second time. Any nominations for the Chair of our Finance Committee? Third time, any nominations for the Chair of our Finance Committee? Okay, so I'm going to close our nominations. We are going to have a vote, and the vote is either for Trustee Nicol, Trustee Rowan, or Trustee Boydson. And Lars and Sarah are going to, that's who they are? Lars and Sarah are going to?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. And the Chair of the Finance Committee is Trustee Nicol. Congratulations, Trustee Nicol. Thank you to Trustee Boydson and Trustee Rowan for letting your name stand. So now we are going to go to the nomination for the Chair of our Policy Committee. So Chair of our Policy Committee. Do we have any nominations for the Chair of our Policy Committee? Trustee Rowan?
I'd like to nominate Trustee Boydson.
Trustee Boydson, do you accept?
Yes, I do.
Any other nominations for the Chair of our Policy Committee? Trustee Smith?
Trustee Nicol.
Trustee Nicol, do you accept?
I'd rather not, because I'm also chair of the finance, and I don't think that you should be chair of two committees.
Thank you. Any other nominations for the chair of our policy committee? One second time.
Yes. I'd like to nominate trustee Rowan.
Trustee Rowan, do you accept?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. Any other nominations for our policy committee? Chair. Second time, third time, any further nominations for our chair of our policy committee? Okay, hearing none, we will have an election for the chair. Sorry?
I'd like to withdraw my name then and let Melissa be the chair.
Okay, you have the... And we didn't have any other nominations, so congratulations, Trustee Rowan. So now we are going to nominate 3 members of our Finance and Audit Committee. So who would like to be members of the Finance and Audit Committee? I'm going to open up for nominations. Trustee Dent.
I'd like to nominate Trustee Rowland.
Trustee Rowland, do you accept?
Yes.
Trustee Rowland, thank you. Any other nominations for the Finance Committee? Trustee Boyd.
I'd like to nominate Trustee Dent.
Trustee Dent, do you accept?
I do, thank you.
Any other nominations for the position of Finance Chair? Trustee Rowan? Sorry, Finance Committee. Trustee Rowan?
I'd like to nominate Trustee Boyson.
Trustee Boyson, do you accept?
Yes, I do.
Any other nominations for our Finance Committee? Trustee Smith?
I would like to nominate Trustee Wilson.
Trustee Wilson, do you accept?
Yes, I do.
Any other nominations for our Finance Committee? Trustee Harris?
I'd like to nominate trustee Rowan.
Trustee Rowan, do you accept?
Yes, I do.
Any other nominations for our Finance Committee? Going a second time, going a third time, so they're closed. So we have 3 positions, and there are 5 people that are nominated. So we have Trustee Rowland, Trustee Dent, Trustee Boydson, Trustee Wilson, and Trustee Rowan. Those are the 5 that have been nominated. So with ballots, you need to vote for 3 people. Any questions? So the three members of our Finance Committee, Trustee Dent, Trustee Boytson, and Trustee Rowland. Thank you very much for that, and thank you for Trustee Dent, Trustee Boytson, and Trustee Rowland. Dustin, Lorraine, Diane. Dustin, Lorraine, Diane. Thank you for that. We now are going to look for three members of our Policy Committee. So I'm going to take nominations for our Policy Committee. We need three members. Trustee Diane.
I nominate Trustee Alicia Smith.
Trustee Smith, do you accept?
I do.
Thank you, Trustee Smith. Other nominations? Trustee Rowan.
I nominate Trustee Boytson.
Trustee Boytson, do you accept?
I do.
Other nominations? Trustee Boytson.
I'd like to nominate Trustee Wilson.
Trustee Wilson, do you accept?
Yes, I do.
Are there any other nominations? Trustee Harris.
I'd like to nominate Trustee Dent.
Trustee Dent, do you accept?
I do.
Are there any other nominations? Trustee Harris.
I'd like to nominate Trustee Nickel.
Trustee Nickel, do you accept?
Yes.
Any other nominations? Any other nominations? So I'm going to close our nominations. So for our Policy Committee, we have three members, and you need to go ahead, and there are five people that are nominated. So Trustee Smith, Trustee Boytson, Trustee Wilson, Trustee Dent, and Trustee Nickel. Alicia, Lorraine, Donna, Dustin, or Dawn. All right. Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to use first names just to make sure then that I don't get called out on this. Donna, Lorraine, Dustin. Congratulations, Donna, Lorraine, Dustin, certainly for that for our policy committee. We're going to continue to move on. We have the Sunrise Teachers Association liaison person. It is one member. Please, I'm going to open up nominations for the Sunrise Teachers Association. Trustee Nickel.
I nominate Diane.
Trustee Rowland, do you accept?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Sunrise Teachers Association, any other nominations? Trustee Boyd.
I nominate Donna.
Trustee Wilson, do you accept?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. Any other nominations for the Sunrise Teachers Association? Trustee Smith.
I nominate Lorraine.
Lorraine, do you accept? Thank you. Any other nominations for the Sunrise Teachers Association? Trustee Harris.
I'd like to nominate Trustee Rowland.
Melissa, do you accept?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. Any other nominations for the STA, Sunrise Teachers Association liaison position? Any other nominations? Any other nominations? So I'm going to close our nominations. So we have 3 people. And you got to turn your mic off. So we have 3 people to go ahead and vote for. We have Trustee Wilson, so we have Donna, Melissa, and Diane. Okay, Donna, Melissa, or Diane. So our Sunrise STA liaison position goes to Trustee Diane. Congratulations. Thank you, Trustee Diane. We now are moving on to the Sunrise Education Foundation. So 2 lucky people get to work with me on the Sunrise Education Foundation, because there's 3 of us that'll be on the committee. So we need to elect 2 members to this committee. So I'm looking for nominations to the Sunrise Education Foundation. Trustee Dent.
I'd like to nominate Trustee Nickel.
Trustee Nickel, do you accept?
Yes.
There's nominations for the Sunrise Education Foundation. Trustee Harris.
I'd like to nominate Trustee Dent.
Trustee Dent, do you accept?
I will.
Any other nominations for the Education Foundation? Trustee Rowland.
I'd like to nominate Trustee Wilson.
Trustee Wilson, do you accept?
Yes, I do.
Any other nominations for the Education Foundation? Trustee Rowan.
I'd like to nominate Trustee Robin Harris.
Trustee Harris, do you accept?
I do.
Any other nominations for the Education Foundation? Trustee Smith.
Trustee Boyson?
Trustee Boyson, do you accept?
Yes, I do.
Any other nominations for the Education Foundation? Any nominations for the Education Foundation?
Yes.
Trustee Harris.
I'd like to nominate Trustee Smith.
Trustee Smith, do you accept?
I will.
All right. Any other nominations for the Sunrise Education Foundation? Trustee Dent.
I'd like to remove my name as a potential candidate for the Sunrise Education Foundation.
Any other nominations for the Sunrise Education Foundation? Going once? Twice, swinging 3 at a time, and then close nominations. So we're looking to elect 2 members, and we have 5 nominations. Trustee Smith, Trustee Boyson, Trustee Nickel, Trustee Wilson, and Trustee Harris. Those are the 5 that we have, and we're looking for 2. So we'll vote. So the two people on the Sunrise Education Foundation are going to be Trustee Harris and Trustee Nickel. So thank you for that. So I'm going to, before we go on to the committee appointments, I'm just going to recap, and Sarah, make sure that that I've got this right, and everyone will jump on me if I've got it wrong. We've got the vice chair as Trustee Harris. We have the chair of the Finance Committee as Trustee Nickel. We have the chair of the Policy Committee as Melissa Rowan, Trustee Melissa Rowan. The Finance Committee members are Trustee Dent, Trustee Boytson, and Trustee Diane Rowland. The members of the Policy Committee are Trustee Boytson, Trustee Wilson, and Trustee Dent. The Sunrise Teachers Association liaison is Trustee Rowland, Diane. And the two members that are on the Sunrise Education Foundation are Trustee Nickel and Trustee Harris. Is everybody clear on that? Did I miss anything for anybody? Oh, that's pretty good. Yep. Thanks for slipping me that paper, Sarah. That was good. Okay, so let's keep going. We have, next part is we have committee appointments. And a reminder, committee appointments, these are with recreation. And again, we look at if there's a trustee in the area that can do that. That's what we've looked at in the past. So trustee appointments, the trustee of Broken Head Recreation. So we're looking for one trustee in the Broken Head Recreation area. Need a nomination. Trustee Dent.
I'll nominate Trustee Smith.
Trustee Smith, do you accept?
I do not.
Okay. Trustee of the Broken Head area. Another not, Trustee Rowan.
I'll nominate Trustee Robin Harris.
Trustee Harris, do you accept? Thank you.
You.
Any other nominations? Okay, nominations closed. Thank you, Trustee Harris. We have nominations for the Edgewater Recreation. So Edgewater, if you're not aware of, is the Powerview Pine Falls area. Do we have any nominations for that? Trustee Nickel.
I'll nominate Paul Magna.
Paul will accept. Paul is the chairperson of that committee, so I guess we better make sure that Paul can get in. That'd be good. Sorry, is there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations? I should not have said that, sorry. Okay, nominations are closed. Paul will be the Edgewater Recreation representative. So the Winnipeg River Recreation is the Lac de Bonnie and I think Whitemouth area, is that what it, no, just Lac de Bonnie? Okay, is the Lac de Bonnie area. So do we have a nomination for the Winnipeg River Recreation? Trustee Dent.
I'll nominate Trustee Wilson.
Trustee Wilson, do you accept?
Yes, I do.
Any other nominations? Any other nominations? Hearing none, we'll close. And so Trustee Wilson will be the Winnipeg River Recreation representative. Parent Advisory Council. So our Parent Advisory Councils, these are just trustees for each school. So this is to read through. Enola School is Trustee Boytson. Bossier Early Years School is Trustee Harris and Trustee Smith. Centennial School is Trustee Wilson. Ecole Douglas School is Trustee Rowland. Ecole Edward Schreier is Trustee Harris, Trustee Smith. Gillis School is Trustee Harris, Trustee Smith. Grafton is Trustee Boytson. Hazel Ridge is Trustee Boytson. Lac de Bonnie Senior School is Trustee Wilson. Oak Bank Elementary is Trustee Dent and Trustee Rowan. Powerview School is Trustee Magna. Springfield Collegiate is Trustee Dent and Trustee Rowan. Springfield Middle School, Trustee Dent, Trustee Rowan. Whitemouth School is Trustee Nickel. Rose Colony is Trustee Nickel. Heartland School is Trustee Boytson. Hoffer School is Trustee Magna. Richland School is Trustee Boytson. And Springwell School is Trustee Wilson. Any difficulties or any comments to that? Do we actually have to, no, we don't. Okay. I think that we're done. Am I missing anything from anyone? Okay, so I need a motion then for us for the destruction of our ballots. Motion by trustee Smith, seconded by trustee Rowland. We're going to vote by hand about doing this. Can we? Oh, Sarah, you're way ahead of me, man. Okay. So, hearing none, we'll vote. So it passed 9-0. Thank you for that. Okay, so we're in adjournment. Thank you very much for going ahead and doing that. Am I missing anything from anyone? Okay, so we're in adjournment, and it is 7:51. We'll re-adjourn at 8 o'clock. All right, welcome to the Sunrise Board of Trustees regular meeting for September the 3rd. Welcome, everyone. I'm going to call our meeting to order, and we are going to have O Canada sung by played by Springfield Collegiate. Please stand if you can do so. Thank you to Springfield Collegiate. I'm going to ask Trustee Wilson to read out our treaty acknowledgement, please.
We acknowledge the traditional land upon which Sunrise School Division resides as Treaty 1 territory. We honor our partnership with Canada's original peoples and respect the gifts of Indigenous history, culture, and language. We commit to moving forward in partnership with our communities in a spirit of collaboration and reconciliation.
Thank you, Trustee Wilson. And we're going to adopt the agenda. So be it resolved, the board approve the agenda as presented. I need to move in a second. I moved by Trustee Nicol, seconded by Trustee Boytson. Any comments, questions? Okay, hearing none, we'll vote. And it passed 9-0. Thank you. So the people that are online, again, I should have introduced everyone around the table. So Superintendent Reed, Secretary Treasurer Thiessen, Assistant Superintendent Fielberg, Trustee Rowland, Trustee Smith, Trustee Dent, Trustee Nicol, Trustee Rowen, Trustee Wilson, Trustee Boytson. Sarah Scott is our board liaison executive secretary, Trustee Harris, and myself. Chair's comments, a reminder that tonight, if you didn't catch at our inaugural meeting, we did vote in new positions. So I was elected chairperson for another year. Beside me is Trustee Harris. He's been elected as the vice chair. Our finance committee, our chair is Trustee Nicol, along with Trustee Dent, Trustee Boytson, and Trustee Rowland. Our policy committee chair is Melissa Rowan, and the committee members are Trustee Boytson, Trustee Wilson, and Trustee Dent. Our Sunrise Teachers Association liaison person is Trustee Rowland, Diane, and our Sunrise Education Foundation members are Trustee Nicol, Trustee Harris, and myself. We also have appointments to the Broken Head Recreation, and that's Trustee Harris. To the Edgewater Recreation is myself, Trustee Magnan, and to the Winnipeg River Recreation Area is Trustee Wilson. We also have trustees appointed to parent advisory councils. So Nola School, Trustee Boytson, Bolger Early Years School, Trustee Harris and Trustee Smith, Centennial School, Trustee Wilson. Dugald School, Trustee Rowland. Edward Schreier School, Trustee Harrison, Trustee Smith. Gillis School, Trustee Harrison, Trustee Smith. Grafton School, Trustee Boydson. Hazelwood School, Trustee Boydson. Lactabonnie Senior School, Trustee Wilson. Oak Bank Elementary, Trustee Denton, Trustee Rowan. Acol Parview School, Trustee Magna. Springfield Collegiate, Trustee Dent and Trustee Rowan. Springfield Middle School, Trustee Dent and Trustee Rowan. Whitemall School, Trustee Nickel. Ross Colony, Trustee Nickel. Heartland Colony, Trustee Heartland School, Trustee Boydson. Hoffer School, Trustee Magna. Richland School, Trustee Boydson. And Springwall School, Trustee Wilson. Did I miss anything from anyone? Anyways, certainly thank you for all of you that are on our committees and put the time into it, and we look forward to another exciting year with us, so thank you for that. If you have any questions in the public, please send all your questions to jody.thiessen@sunrisesd.ca. Put your name and address of the sender to be included in the email, and at the end of the meeting, we'll address any questions that we have that we're able to. I'm going to open up to share a story. Anybody interested in sharing a story? Trustee Dent.
Yeah, earlier today I had an opportunity to attend the back to school barbecue at Ecole Dugald. So it was really well attended. DPAC had put together a menu for those that were coming to meet their teachers, so you could buy hot dog, chips, cotton candy and whatnot to raise funds to enhance the outdoor classroom. So all donations were also put towards the playground improvements.
Thanks, Trustee Dent. I think a few of us are disappointed that you didn't bring us that hot dog, but that'll happen. Anyone else? Trustee Rowan.
With all of our staff back in schools today, tomorrow our bus drivers will be back on the roads taking students to and from school. I'd like to welcome everyone back for the upcoming school year. Like Trustee Dent, I also had the opportunity to attend the EDS barbecue and the OBE barbecue. Both were opportunities for families to see each other after summer apart, connect, and meet with their teachers. It was great to see the community come together at both schools. And then with the start of our school year, our parent committees will be starting up again. The Springfield Music Association has their first meeting of the year on Monday, September 16th at 7 p.m. in the SCI band room. If you have students in band at SMS or SCI, I hope to see you there.
Thanks, Trustee Rowan. And for some of that information, can you make sure you get that to Sarah as she's frantically writing this down? So can you make sure that some of that information that you're sharing, which is great, can you just share that with Sarah later on? Thanks for that. Any Trustee Boydson?
On June the 20th, I attended the first student-led showcase powwow at Ecole Parview School. This was my third powwow that I have attended and participated in. It was an amazing day. The weather was perfect, beautiful, colorful regalia. Dancers were dancing in a circle around the drummers and singers. Delicious food and lots of it. First time I have ever had fry bread. So good. A group of us from the Sunrise School Division were invited and honored to participate in the grand entry, and I immediately felt a sense of reverence. What a beautiful cultural celebration. Thank you so much for the invitation. I cannot imagine the amount of work that went into the planning of the powwow, not to mention it being held at the end of the school year when schools are already so busy. So to the organizers, staff, students, thank you. It was a privilege to attend.
Thanks, Trustee Boydson. Trustee Nickel?
I was able to visit both Whitemall School and Ross School this afternoon. Whitemall School, the parents, at 1 o'clock even, there was a number of parents that had already been there and they were visiting all the teachers. And the school looked really wonderful. It looked brand new kind of, because no one had been, not very many people had tracked up the hallways, but it was good. I also was able to visit the school garden that they had over the summer to see what they had, what they're going to be using for their school lunches or whatever they're going to use it for. But some of the things did not survive as well as they should have, but that's beside the point. And Whiteshall Colony, the teachers were busy working away, getting things ready for the students.
Thanks, Trustee Nickel. Anyone else? Trustee Harris?
I would like to offer my best to all of the students, parents, and staff of Sunrise School Division as the new school year begins. May the next 10 months be a rewarding experience for everyone.
Thanks, Trustee Harris. Well said. Anyone else? So I want to kind of say ditto to what Trustee Boyson talked about Powerview School. She got to dance with me in the grand entry, so picture that in your mind. So all these millions of people that are seeing this and watching me dance, you know, picture that. No, it was a lot of fun, lots of work, and thanks for pointing that out. I appreciate that. Yeah, and I think that I shared that I was in the school. I've been in 2 schools, and you know what, the shiny floors and I saw teachers back at it, getting excited about getting kids in there. And certainly you talked about that was happening to all of our schools. You talked about Dugald and Whitemouth, but it's all across. It's all across. So that's pretty exciting. Certainly, as how things are going, and you know, tomorrow's an even better day when the kids show up with their backpacks and smiles on their faces, and let's get at her. So, yeah, it's a pretty exciting day that we're moving forward. We're going to hear probably more from Superintendent Reid, but it's great to see. Sharing a story, we'll close and we'll move on to that we don't have a board delegation, but we do have minutes. So on August 27th, to be it resolved, the board adopt the August 27th regular board meeting minutes. I need a mover and a seconder. Moved by Trustee Rowland, seconded by Trustee Dent. Any questions to the minutes? Okay, hearing none, we'll vote. All right, passed 9-0. All right, Mr. Superintendent, the floor is yours. Let us know how day 1 went with our staff. Well, our schools are welcoming 4,857 students who are registered in kindergarten through grade 12 back through the doors hopefully tomorrow, which is up from 4,817 from the start of last year. So we're slated for 40 more students in the division this year, but I would kind of just give pause to that because we don't know who potentially is not coming back, and that will become, you know, sort of clear in the coming days. Just an update on staffing. At the time I submitted the report, you know, last Friday morning, there was no active teacher postings in the division. We were staffed and we were ready to go. However, we did get 2 last-minute medical leaves, and so we're looking for a 0.5 position at ESS and a 0.3 position at Beaujeu Earlier School. And so across the division, that's a pretty good success rate in terms of being staffed ready to start the year. However, the division continues to look for substitutes and spares and casuals across all job categories, as most school divisions in Manitoba are doing as well. So we had some events, you know, last week in the school division here in the office. On Tuesday, we had our summer learning session put on by our program leaders. On the Wednesday, we welcomed our new teachers, and on Thursday, we did our annual secretary PD. So those were 3 PDs or sessions that were done last year. So thank you to all the staff that attended and the staff that put those together. And finally, we have, so I just popped the report up, sorry. Once again this year, the annual training modules that all of our staff are required to do. And so just some awareness training that our staff do. So all of our staff will complete cybersecurity, whistleblower, and workplace safety and health orientation. And then all the staff that are new to the school division will complete Respect in Schools, customer service accessibility and employment accessibility, and if anyone is choosing to coach this year, they'll have to complete the Respect in Sport as well. Thank you, Mr. Reid. Any questions for Trevor? Okay. We do have 6.2, a board reporting schedule. Can you put that up, Trev or Sarah, please? You have that there. As we move through, you see the highlighted, the yellow highlighted parts are what comes before us with regard to some information. So just keep that in mind. That's our template as we move through what we're doing. This is what we've asked and agreed Trevor to bring forward to us. And so if there's anything that we want to go ahead and change, it's not something that happens in a day either. So that's something that's there. Any questions on the board reporting schedule? Superintendent Reed?
Just a comment after the feedback from our first meeting, I did add the workplace violence report, so that's on the reporting schedule there, so that'll be, the board can motion that in the spring, and but just a reminder that that will remain an in-camera report due to the nature of potentially identifying some staff and students in that report.
So Trevor, I want to let you know, and I think that it spoke for the 9 of us. Trustees really appreciated that report. It's not our job to fix anything in that report. It's your job to go ahead and do that. But that information that came to us, I think everybody around the table was really happy, certainly, about getting that information. It just gave us, hey, if there's things that we need to provide to you to change some things, that's something you and Lars certainly talk about. So thanks for providing that to us. That was very informative. And I wanted to go on record to let the teachers know is that we do see, we have seen that report, because that was certainly comments that eventually come back to us. I think, Jody, this is you, Secretary Treasurer's report.
Yes, I'll pull it up on the screen. It's not as long as last week's report, just because we had a meeting last week. So I have here just an update on transportation. We should have had all our staff, our busing, or our bus drivers. Are you sharing your screen, Trevor? There we go. Thanks. So our bus drivers should have reached out to all the families ready for bus pickup tomorrow. Of course, there's always some folks that still have questions on transportation and if they're eligible or not. Please reach out to our transportation department. The information's on our website. We have a lot of reading material on there that identifies how you're eligible and if you're school of choice, are you still eligible? So there's a lot of information. And if you can't find the information you're looking for, please reach out to the transportation department. The next couple of days, it is going to be busy there. They are going to be answering a lot of phone calls. But if you can't find the information you're looking for, reach out to our transportation department and the folks will be happy to help you. From there, we have some new exciting updates on our buses. The ones that we motioned to purchase in January, we've been notified that they should arrive to the dealership mid-November. So then we should be able to see them shortly after that. So it all depends on our pupil transportation unit inspection. They inspect all the buses before they're released to the school division. So we're hoping everything goes as planned and we should see it by the end of the year. If not, I will update you all. Finance is busy working on year end and anticipating the auditors to show up early next week. So we'll start with our annual audit, and then the plan is in October, release the information to the board and then to the public. Finance was also busy on the Secretary PD Day, presenting to the board, or to the many secretaries about some of the policies that have been updated. So it was really good to touch base with the secretaries and put names to faces. We've had a few new changeovers and new secretaries show up because some have retired. So we're looking forward to working with the new faces. ICT was busy over the summer and still following up with some outstanding issues, one of which is trying to connect to our other sites to Valley Fiber. I'll just highlight we are in connection with, or in talks with, Valley Fiber. They are to connect our Beausejour sites to the fiber optic network. But at this time, they've advised there's some regulatory issues in the area of Beausejour, so they're going to be following up. So right now we're still on the Bell MTS connection, and hope to switch over before the end of the year, but it's subject to the final approvals in the local region. So we'll be updating the board on that one. And in the end, I have some highlights based on maintenance. They've been busy. Discussions with RMS Springfield have started with potential building of a fence because of the new development. We're just waiting on final quotes and have those discussions to take place. SCI, we've been busy working on the air conditioner, getting the chiller working. We are in discussions now with Manitoba Hydro to mitigate the higher voltage that's actually going through the system and resetting a breaker. So we're working with Manitoba Hydro and mechanical engineers to try and fix this part of the piece, and this is the last piece of the major construction on this site. So we're basically at the mercy of Manitoba Hydro right now to get this project finished. So we're in negotiations and conversations with them to update us on if there's a transformer that needs to be replaced, or if there's another piece of the mechanical that has to be upgraded to match the transformer. So we have a lot of engineers looking into the matter right now. And that's kind of about it. I will say the last part of miscellaneous, there's a lot of information here, but I want to say kudos to both my both the ICT director, Gord Tulloch, and our purchasing manager, Tracy Weidman. We went and I spoke to a third party. The company is called Spyglass, and they perform audits on our telephone, cell phone, and internet providers to confirm that A, we're paying a fair price, and B, we're not paying for services we don't use. And their feedback was they've been doing this for the last 10 years. They've been auditing and reviewing companies in Manitoba and across the states and in Western Canada, and starting to migrate over to Ontario. And what they've advised me is we've had the best rates that we can find. We are very competitive, and with our latest Teams and Rogers phone network, we're paying one of the lower prices that they've seen in Manitoba. So we're very competitive in that range. They did not find that we have active phone lines that are not in use. Any phone line they did phone, they found that they were either for an emergency line or for a security alarm. So there is no dead lines that we're paying for. So they did their research and they gave us kudos. They could not find anything that we needed to disconnect. So kudos to the two there that worked and made sure that we are not overpaying for services. That's a quick update.
Thanks, Jody. Any questions for Jody or comments? Trustee Harris?
For the schools that have been switched over to Valley Fiber, have you had any feedback from the schools on the speed and quality of the service that they've been getting?
Yeah, I know some of them switched over in May and June, so they haven't used it too much. But Anola School, the feedback was immediate that they've been connected and it's working. There's no downtime. I haven't followed up with them since the start of school, but we are monitoring. I know the northern schools, they were one of the first to switch over, but nobody's said that they're lagging or there's been downtime with the network. So we are monitoring it because we haven't rolled everything over, but we've also migrated our ICT tech center, and there hasn't been any downtime or lag on that. So we've had good service, and if there was any issues, they were immediate to respond to us.
I think we'll find out when 4,800 students come into our buildings tomorrow and find out if we have any issues. Trustee Smith?
I remember when we had the Secretary PD Day, they were switching the computers over. Did everything go good with that?
Yeah, we were able to switch over some computers the day before, just because they were in the area and they were able to switch over. I haven't received feedback from the schools that something didn't work. So no news is good news, but I'll be doing my school tours this starting October to see how the switchover was and other feedback that they can provide me. And I'll be bringing Gord along, our IT director, just to see how the switchover and any feedback is needed.
Anything else for Jody? So Jody, can you keep us informed certainly about Anola School, about the fence and the thing planning in the background? Obviously, if there's a need for a fence, let's pay close attention certainly to that. Springfield Collegiate is another school that's had, you know, renovation after renovation, and, you know, can you keep us tuned certainly with that? And the Education Center, I've got some wood, so if we need the wood stove to go and it's getting cold in here, I'll bring some wood so to keep the Sunrise Education warm. I'll certainly help them with that way. There we go. All right, thanks very much, Jody. Nice work. We are going to go to board business. So we have monthly enrollment 8.1. It's for your information. It is basically what we are expecting with regard to enrollment. And so you heard Superintendent Reed talk about 4,857 kids, and it's kind of noted in that monthly enrollment. Can things change? Absolutely, they're going to change a little bit as we go, but that's kind of where we are. I was talking with Trustee Nicol with regard to trustee monthly enrollment, and there it is. And obviously, I wasn't counting properly about certain schools. Any questions on that? Okay. 8.2, religious instruction bylaw. Be it resolved that the board approve the second reading of the religious instruction bylaw 380-24 for École School. Need a mover and a seconder. Moved by Trustee Rowland, seconded by Trustee Dent. Any questions to this? Okay, we're going to vote. Thanks, Sarah. Passed 9-0. So now we can do the religious instruction bylaw. Be it resolved, the board approve the third reading of the religious instruction bylaw 380-24 for École School. I need a mover and a seconder. Moved by Trustee Rowland, seconded by Trustee Rowan. Any questions on it? Hearing none, we'll vote. Thank you. Passed 9-0. 8.4 is non-instructional days. I'm going to turn that over to you.
So there's nothing new here. I just put that item together for your information. If you recall, on our August 27th meeting, or the day before August 27th meeting, we got some correspondence from Manitoba Education and Early Childhood Learning about approval of our non-instructional days for our colonies. And because of the timing of that communication, I just provided a verbal report at the August 27th meeting. So the information that's shared with this agenda item is just a summary of that. And so nothing new there. Still waiting to hear back from the minister. So,
any questions on that? That's good follow-up. Thanks, Trev, for doing that for us. Okay. So we have policy committees. So we just brought in new committees. So for policy, and that's Melissa, your committee, is that if you can work with Trevor on what your next meeting date is, and if it's something even we can solve tonight before you leave with your committee and with Trevor, can you look at trying to go ahead and do that with regard to policy committee? The same thing, Don, with your finance committee, is that if something that you can meet with your committee and meet with Jody, and if it's something that you can get dates worked out on, that's great. But that's something that, of course, you've done before to go ahead and do that. The Education Foundation Committee, I think, has Robin and Don and myself on it. I think that the committee is established and we have all the information. Now it's just as to regular times. Jody, you're going to get a hold of us and set up times when it'll be good for the three of us or four of us to get together. Okay, thanks for doing that. The Ad Hoc Planning Committee, Melissa, is there any updates with what you're in the next steps with where you are?
No real update at this point. I was waiting till regular committees set their dates for meetings, and I'll work with Jody and Trevor now to set dates for our ad hoc.
Thanks, Melissa. Any questions with that from anyone, any of our committees? Okay, so we had the capsule conference. That I think that we got some information last time, and then the virtual conference. And Trustee Nicol, you put something together. Trustee Rowan and Trustee Smith, is there anything that you want to comment on?
For the virtual, what I did is I didn't, because we have a membership for Capsule, any one of us can go into the website and see these things at any time. So what I did is I just got each one of the ones, I said, well, I numbered them 1, 2, and 3. 3, it didn't really pertain to Manitoba, so you may not want to read that too. Well, it was interesting, but not that interesting to me. Number 1, I thought that everybody should read that. And by the time we were talking about AI, there were 2 good PD sessions dealing with AI, what it is and everything else. So it was very interesting for me to read that. So anytime you want to read it, I think it's a 1-year subscription, so it goes quite long. So you can do it any minute Christmas time if you want.
Anybody else want to comment? Trustee Smith?
What I did is I went online and I downloaded all of the PDFs onto my laptop, and when I worked night shifts I just read them all, but I didn't take notes at the time. I didn't know I was going to have to do a report, so it's all in my head, but if I ever do it in the past I'll write it all down, and in the future I'll have that in mind, but this time I downloaded them all and just read them on my night shifts, so that's what I did.
Thank you, Trustee Smith. Anyone else? Trustee Hess.
So Don, Trustee Nicol, you mentioned that we have a 1-year subscription to Capsule. Do we require access information to get to see that, or we just go to Capsule and away we go?
There is access information. I think if you need to access it, they have to set you up. So I think we've asked them to set the board up. We've sent all your emails, and they were supposed to forward you access information, the login information. So if you haven't received it, let us know. Yes.
Trustee Nicol, just a point of clarity on page 2, lessons from the intersection of youth criminal justice and the education system. Your 1 there is a different color. Is that for a particular reason, or is it just a typo?
What happened is this morning I had changed 1 to, actually last night when I did it, I was going to change up the different colors. And then I forgot this morning when I sent it, so I only changed the 1. So didn't really mean anything. I just was going to do a 1 red so that it would stand out a little better. I was trying to be a little bit more artistic.
All right, thank you for that. Anyone else with professional development information back? Trustee Smith?
I hope they went through. Was it last week I emailed 2 of the presentations that I thought were interesting because they were topics that were coming up on our upcoming meetings. So I don't know if they came through. Did they come through? Okay, just want to make sure you guys got them. Awesome, okay.
Thank you. Trustee Rowland.
I had brought a verbal report last meeting. I don't have it with me today, so I will just type that and I'll just forward my summaries to our email.
Let's give us the Coles notes very quickly.
Wouldn't be fair to do that exactly, but it was regarding parental rights and also violence. So.
Okay, fair enough. Thank you. Anyone else? Trustee Nicol?
Yeah, I did come across one thing that was very interesting, is that as a school board we have duty to care to the students, but we do not have duty to care to parents. And that was a very 2-3 times in here they indicate that our duty to care is to students and not to parents. And that's illegal not only in Manitoba but across Canada.
That would be an interesting conversation for us to go ahead and have and get some more information on that, Don, because yeah, that's we could be here for a little while talking about this, but let's save it. But it's, thanks for bringing that forward. Am I missing anyone? Okay, so let's move on. So basically, nice to know information. Thanks, Sarah, for putting all those things down for us. We have upcoming meetings, September the 17th and October the 1st. I think I've mentioned to a few others, we have some small joint committees that are meeting, negotiations and some contractual meetings, a reminder of those things. Jody, questions from the public. Do we have any?
No, all quiet.
So we do not have to move into in-camera. Oh, I do want to make a comment, is that I was listening when I heard you talk a little bit about cell phones, is that I was listening to the radio, and the chief superintendent from Winnipeg One, his name's Matt Henderson, he was on CJOB, and he was responding to cell phones. He was very articulate. So I pulled my car over, and I got on my phone, and I sent an email to him saying, hey, thanks. You know what, we really appreciated that. I got an interesting response back from him. He was very happy, but it was like, wow, nobody really kind of does those kind of things, so thanks for acknowledging. Made me think, you know what, we just don't say thank you enough to people for doing things or acknowledging that. And so the more often that we can go ahead and do as trustees with our staffs about doing it, and I didn't really think about it, but when his reaction came back to me, it was like, you know what, we need to be doing more, or I need to be doing more of those kind of things. So, something to share. Yes, Trustee Smith.
I mentioned this at the last meeting, and my son asked me again, will teachers be able to use their phones in classrooms? And another student that, he actually graduated last year, he said that his teacher used the phone all the time for personal reasons in class. So he's curious too if they're going to take away the teachers' phones in class as well.
So I think that was answered for you last time, Trustee Smith, with regard to cell phones in classrooms. So we don't have a policy. We have a procedure that Superintendent Reid brought to us last time about cell phones. I'm sure it's a hot topic that was going around in schools across the province today, because all principals were meeting with their staffs, certainly about it. I think that there was a pretty good one-pager that I saw, certainly from it. Did you want to add anything to this, Superintendent Reid?
Yeah, sorry, I was just looking to pull up the draft document. Just it's not at my fingertips here, but yeah, there is language. The provincial expectation is that all staff be role models for our policy, and we do have, in our procedure. And in our procedure, we do have language that says our staff are not supposed to be using their cell phones for non-work related reasons when they're with students. And so that is in our procedure.
Anyone else? Okay. So thanks for that. I think that it's been a long meeting for some of us coming back, but I think that we don't have to move in camera, correct? Oh yes, for no business. But just to be upfront with everybody, we do ask one trustee to give us feedback on each of our meetings to tell us about how we're doing. And that will happen after we close, so it's for us to continually try to improve and look upon ourselves about how some of the things we're doing. So we're good, so we're adjourned? Okay, we're adjourned. Thank you very much, everyone.